Growing up, we had my dad would buy these old cars, and he kind of fixed them up for us to drive. In Florida, you had to drive a car. You were 15, 16, you needed to be driving.
Yep.
And so he bought a car for my brother, really good car. Car ran well, and he bought this other car that was similar to my brother's car, but it was a junk. It was he bought it for parts.
Yeah.
And so I would tell him, man, I really want this car for me.
Yeah.
And we began to kind of piece together. That car had every problem you could think of in the book. Every single problem you could think of, that car had. And years later, I remember my older brother saying to me, man, I wish I had that car. Because you had all those issues. You know how to fix things that I just never had those issues. That car prepared you in ways for life that I didn't get those experiences. And I think sometimes the temptation is to look at prosperity in those earlier years of your work, where you're facing those issues that's not prosperous. But God is giving you a template. He's giving you a journey. He's giving you a story in those earlier years that will help you in those later years. And you'll be able to draw from those things. And to me, that's, again, another definition of prosperity.
Life can be fast-paced, strenuous, and flat-out overwhelming. Life transitions and taboo topics can make it hard to catch your breath. Welcome to Breathe, a podcast that enables you to slow down, get your bearings, and engage in real conversations where no topic is off limits. Breathe is presented by Breath of Life, hosted by David Person and speaker-director Pastor Debleaire Snell.
Boom! Welcome to Breathe.
Yes, sir.
Come on. Come on.
We are glad to be here with each other and with you.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome to the Breathe podcast.
Amen.
If you're listening or if you're watching, we're glad that you're here with us.
Yeah.
So today is the day, this is the episode where we talk about professional prosperity. We dig into the prosperity kit and they pull out this idea of how do we look at being prosperous in the workplace.
In the workplace.
In the workplace.
So
somebody's saying, why did it take you so long to get here?
Yeah.
This is the one I was waiting on.
Well, I mean, we got to have a conversation because
true.
In your adult life, you will spend, most people spend between 8 and 10 hours a day. In their work setting. And then there's probably a fair amount that you take home with you.
Yep.
Even if you're not directly doing work, it's part of your thought process.
Absolutely.
You're planning and preparing for the next day. So it's a big part of your life and your journey.
Absolutely.
How many of us, whether it's to spouses or girlfriends, boyfriends, are recounting our work day and talking about,
so true.
And that's so-and-so over there.
Yeah, that's the meeting place.
So the boss
is about work.
So you're right. It's very much a part of of who we are.
Most of the time when your spouse asks you, how was your day? It's really, how was your work?
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's right. So, pardon me. Let's talk about this this idea of looking at prosperity in the workplace. As you were conceptualizing this, what did you see? What did you envision? Because your workplace is, I think, sort of unique.
It is.
Pastoring a church is different than sitting in a cubicle or being behind a camera.
It's true. It's true.
It's a different kind of setting. What did you envision?
Well, it is, and it is not. It is very different in content in terms of like mission purpose,
right?
But the dynamics of dealing with people, superiors, colleagues, it's about the same, in some ways or in some ways, shape, and form. But I think a part of it is I think there's perhaps a significant portion of those who are listening today who are excited and thrilled and they feel like I am prospering in my employment. But I do feel like there's probably a good group who are listening who feel stuck, stale, unsatisfied. If they could make a change, they probably would. Or they're just dealing with, even if they are fulfilled in what they do, they just don't really feel like they're prospering in the environment that they're called to do it in.
Yeah.
And so I think, we wanted to kind of maybe look at some of those dynamics and kind of look at what prosperity looks like. Again, my work setting is a little different and not different, but just, if you work in an office, if you work for yourself, if how do I know if I'm prospering at work? What is it? So we want to just kind of talk through it and see where it lands.
I love that.
One thing that I just thought about is this whole idea of the environment that is created in some workplaces. So you have so much of this depends on who your boss is, who your leader is.
Yeah.
But I know in some workplaces, competitiveness is really encouraged.
Yeah.
To the point where, and especially if you're in a sales environment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To the point where
the bottom line is the metric. Yeah.
And if you're trying to fight it out for a commission, oh man.
Yeah.
It gets cutthroat, man.
Cutthroat.
It gets real cutthroat.
Yeah. What do you see in that in terms of that environment, in terms of that scenario?
So, so one of the things I think as believers, especially as we talk about prospering in our work, I think that I don't know that we're ever called to be like cutthroat, but I think that there are times where we have to be intentional, where you have to be assertive, where you have to be probably opportunistic.
Yeah.
But I think that
can I interrupt you for a second?
Go ahead.
What do you mean when you say opportunistic?
Meaning I take advantage of I walk through the door God opens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I make the most of the opportunity that is being given to me.
Okay.
Yes. That's how I term. That's what I mean when I say opportunistic. Not meaning I'm looking to kind of slash you, in order to get ahead.
Right.
But I do think a part of like great spirituality is recognizing when God is opening a door and recognizing this door is for me. Because I think there's some who may be a little too passive when it is time to be assertive.
Agreed.
And I think you can be too assertive when it's time for you to be a team player in a certain dynamic. I guess if that makes sense.
It does.
Because I think a part of recognizing when you're assigned to a place, a work station, office, venue, whatever it is, a part of your job is to also be light and to be salt.
Agreed.
You are to be Christ's ambassador in that place. You are to show forth the character of Christ in that space. And I don't know that you can always move the way everybody else moves, because again, one of the ways that you should be defining prosperity is, man, how am I making Christ known in this moment? The instance that comes to mind, the book of Daniel. So remember, King has this dream, right?
Yeah,
he can't interpret it. Jordan's kind of hilarious the more and more I think about it, right?
Every time I think about it, my word.
So now remember, they hate Daniel because he's a follower of God. He is Hebrew, so racially he is different. So from a spiritual standpoint, he's a minority. From an ethnic standpoint, he's a minority. He's just at the bottom, right? So of course, God, man, just kind of puts into being where, man, the magicians, the astrologers, the soothsayers, they can't do it.
Nothing.
And he's just like, you know what? If y'all can't do it, man, all y'all gonna die.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. Killing all of
I'm
you.
killing all of you, right?
Yeah.
So finally it gets to Daniel. And it's so funny because, like, man, they have been plotting against Daniel and the three Hebrew worthies the whole time. But the thing I love about Daniel is that, man, even once he's called to that moment, the whole dynamic shifts. The rabbit has the gun. He's the one in power. And you know what he does? He's just like, yo, king, don't move with him. Like, don't kill him. There's only one who can interpret the dream,
right,
and that's God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when it was his chance to be cutthroat, to kill the competition, that's not how he moved. You know what I'm saying? What he did was he simply kind of walked in his giftedness, did his assignment, and he did not respond according to the way they responded to him. And what he needed to do in that moment, his primary goal was not just to give the revelation to the king. It was to show his coworkers what grace actually looked like. Like, they were going to get a sense of what Jesus was like when Daniel could have split their wigs, for lack of a better term. And he showed grace to them. So when we talk about, man, so, we use this term, man, Jesus, we're going to be the only Jesus some people will ever see. That's the only Jesus some people that generation saw.
Because
Because Daniel did not respond in kind in a cutthroat environment. And guess what? He did not have to choose between character and promotion.
Mm-hmm. He got both.
He got both. Yeah. And he was able to show forth Jesus in the process.
Mm-hmm. Mercy. No, that's gold.
Such a fascinating, I think, analogy to draw on the story of Daniel, because I'm fast forwarding now, and I think I've got the chronology right. Mm-hmm. So that happened. Mm-hmm. But then if you fast forward some years later, the
Lion's Den.
The Lion's Den. Yeah. That's right. They went after him again.
Mm-hmm. Different king, different administration. Yeah. Because you had Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon, but the same
crew of different people who kind of pushed that thing. So they did not embrace in their workplace. They didn't embrace that lesson.
They didn't.
Or at least that group of people. Now maybe they weren't all the same group.
I don't know if they were all the same group. Because you got the Medes and the Persians now. Yeah. But that group really learned it the hard way, because Darius, after he brought Daniel out of Lion's Den, he actually put them in it.
Okay. You guys go down.
y'all go down there.
But talk about cutthroat.
That's cutthroat right there. Yeah. So
gangster.
One of the I like CrossFit. I don't know if you guys follow the it's a workout methodology. And
you and Kanika are very hardcore. We do. If you see them, I'm like, man, I'm gonna let y'all have that.
But one of the things I always find interesting is there's this camaraderie amongst competitors. Mm-hmm. Like even like when the horn sounds and we're off to do the workout, everybody's in their own lane and they're doing their own thing and they're working. I mean, they're working to the best of their ability, withholding nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But as soon as they get across the finish line, they're cheering the other person on.
Yeah.
They're slapping high fives with the other person who may have finished ahead of them.
Yeah.
So I'm not compromising on what I put out.
Yeah.
But I can also celebrate the person who quote unquote did it better or who's coming up behind me.
Yeah.
And I just find that environment to be very much, a professional environment where you see a picture of what prosperity can look like.
Yeah.
I'm not dimming my light. Mm-hmm. I'm not hiding it anywhere. I'm not trying to, shirk back to make somebody else look bigger. But I'm also not lording it over anybody else either.
Right, yeah.
I can celebrate those who are going ahead and those who are behind.
Yeah. And I think, so there is a statement Jesus makes. He says to the disciples, like, yo, listen, I'm sending you guys like as sheep amongst wolves.
Right.
But he says there's a dynamic, there is a line you got to navigate with wisdom. So he says you got to be as wise as serpents, right? You got to have that kind of cunning, awareness, knowing how to move, knowing how to sidestep, all right? When it's your moment and when it's not. But then you got to also be as harmless as a dove. And I just think that's kind of a template for the believer when you're working in a, kind of maybe a ethnically hostile environment, a spiritually hostile environment.
Right.
All right. I gotta be as cunning as that serpent. A certain snake. The one thing about a snake, he's a survivor.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm saying? By and large, he knows how to maneuver. Because what a snake does is it knows how to maneuver in any environment.
Yeah.
Tall grass, low grass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He figures out how to blend.
Yeah.
But then you're not gonna bite like a serpent.
No.
You're not gonna put forth that kind of venom. But the dove's character. It is what's supposed to be demonstrated in that particular moment.
I love that.
So, I just think that, even when we talk about, so one of the things I think a believer, and when we talk about prosperity, is I just think you have to, even gaining notoriety or an audience with important people, I don't think we go about it the same way everybody else does. I don't think a believer has to suck up. I don't think a believer has to kiss up. I don't think a believer has to do favors. Mm-hmm. I think you should be kind. I think you should be generous.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because, because I believe in the power of a network. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Your greatest network, your best network is good work.
It's good work.
Good work. You can have all the, but because even when you think about, and again, I use the Bible, but even in my own kind of journey, it's a different path. It's a different dynamic. Mm-hmm. But I've never had to be like, yo, man, ask them, you know what I'm saying, to put me here. You know what I'm saying? Not once. Never. I've never had to be like, man, I feel like y'all should consider me to speak here or to preach there.
Man, how can I get on that?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, because every position or thing, that was somebody in a room where I was not even present, or where I never said, "Hey, man," like not a single time. But I just think that when you are that woman and you are that guy, and the anointing of God is on your work, the Bible says your gifts will make room for you.
Yes, indeed.
They will bring you before kings, and you will not serve in obscurity. At least forever you won't.
At least,
there's a season for it.
No, there's a season.
We'll talk about it. But I just think that, man, kind of it is when your character in your work speaks for you in ways. Even if I go back to Joseph, like Joseph was in jail, like, and again, Butler and Baker, remember they forgot about it.
Yeah, they did. They did.
But then again, kings needed somebody to interpret the dream, and they were like, "Dang, we forgot about your boy," but there's somebody down there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But so I just think that, because your network only matters in your work. It only matters if when you are given the assignment, you can do something with it.
There you go.
Like, because if you can't do nothing with it, the network can get you there, but it's your work that keeps you there.
That's it.
And so I just think that when we talk about prospering, like, I just think there is this feeling, all right, I need to get in with this group and be down with that person.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be generous, just be generous, expecting nothing in return.
So good.
Like, the law of kindness, you owe it nobody anything except for the outstanding debt of love. So be helpful, be a servant, like, do the things that you don't have to do that are not a part of your job description. But at the end of the thing, but do that not with the hope of return or repayment. Do that because that's one of the ways you witness.
Love it.
But man, when you are just great at what you do and you're operating in your calling and you're, as kids say, you're in your bag.
In your bag. Come on.
Like, man, that's what's going to speak for you. And that's going to speak for you in ways, man, that require no repayment.
You said a whole mouthful there. That's real good. Growing up, we had my dad would buy these old cars, and he kind of fixed them up for us to drive. In Florida, you had to drive a car. You were 15, 16, you needed to be driving. And so he bought a car for my brother, really good car. Car ran well, and he bought this other car that was similar to my brother's car, but it was a junk. It was he bought it for parts. And so I would tell him, man, I really want this car for me. And we began to kind of piece together. That car had every problem you could think of in the book. Every single problem you could think of, that car had. And years later, I remember my older brother saying to me, man, I wish I had that car. Because you had all those issues. You know how to fix things that I just never had those issues. That car prepared you in ways for life that I didn't get those experiences. And I think sometimes the temptation is to look at prosperity in those earlier years of your work, where you're facing those issues that's not prosperous. But God is giving you a template. He's giving you a journey. He's giving you a story in those earlier years that will help you in those later years. And you'll be able to draw from those things. And to me, that's, again, another definition of prosperity in the workplace.
In the workplace.
I bring to bear all of the experiences that God has written into my story.
And I love that.
And if you can't see that, sometimes we don't have the lens to be able to see that when you're in the midst. I work with a lot of young guys, and they're like, man, I want to be viral now. I'm like, bro, you don't want to be viral now. You don't have anything to say.
Nothing to say.
You're not ready.
You got nothing to say. You got nowhere to go. You got nowhere to take people. So enjoy, as they say, do not despise small beginnings. This is
a good word,
enjoy those moments. You know, I said to one guy who's getting ready to put out a video, I was like, you'll never be as less known as you are today. So take advantage of that and put out the bad video. It's like, oh, I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to look like yours. I'm like, no. I had some terrible videos when I first started. So again, understanding the journey. And prosperity doesn't just begin when you arrive. It begins when you begin.
Listen, it's so funny.
Very good.
Again, my dynamic's very different. But I had two small churches in Mississippi. My big church had about 20 people.
Come on with the big church. The other was like 7.
Come on with the big church. But I came front. So Gianna will attest. So I'm a kind of what you call a manuscript preacher. I mean, I write out my sermons. So when I go back and try to read some of those sermons, I was like, what was I doing? It is unthinkable. Like, man, it is so funny because and those little churches, they would just love on you anyway. But man, if these sermons ever hit the internet, like if they ever made it on television, y'all would be like, So to your point, I just think God positions you based upon your readiness
Absolutely.
Internally, character-wise.
Yeah.
But then even as you develop, so I just think, man, I guess for lack of a better term, you're a platformer. The size of your platform is going to be commensurate with where you are in your development. In many instances.
Oh, my word. Yeah, no, I think you said it on one. I don't know if it was on this show or it was a different one, but nothing burns like the spotlight.
Nothing burns like spotlight.
And
yeah,
I was
that's
like,
true.
mercy. Yeah. That. And I think just the reframe of being able to see all the different seasons of your workplace, your career, as part of the process that God is prospering. I learned to be content here, and then God, gave me something larger.
Yeah,
I was faithful in this, and then that taught me to be faithful in this next season.
Yeah.
Being able to build on those things is really good. My boss in Africa used to say the same phrase that you shared earlier. It's never bad to be known for good work.
Yeah,
never bad to be known for good work. It doesn't matter what that good work is. If you're known for good work, people will, hey man, grab him.
Yeah.
So those are things I think absolutely fall in the category of being prosperous.
Yeah, and I just think the other thing, it's hard to be a good witness when you don't do good work. I mean, like if you slack. You have an attitude.
There you go.
You're indifferent.
There you go.
Because remember,
cut corners.
Colossians says, "Whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might, as if working for God and not unto men."
Oof.
And so, because the other thing about it is, and this is when we talk about workplace prosperity. Remember, so you got to put some things together. Colossians, working unto God and not unto man.
Yeah.
Psalm says prosperity doesn't come from the north. I mean, promotion doesn't come from the north, south, east, or the west. Promotion comes from God, which means there is the one I'm auditioning for.
There you go.
Is watching when no one else sees.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if your kind of work ethic is determined by who's watching, you know what I'm saying? God doesn't bless that. There's got to be an intentionality, an effort. You know what I'm saying? That's the same when everybody's watching as it is when nobody is watching.
Sure.
And that's kind of where what God blesses. So, kind of what calls to mind is when, and we talked about it in a sermon series we did a few months ago, David is at a certain point called, Saul has this evil spirit that's upon him. Yeah. And man, he needs somebody to come and play. And there's just like, man, there's somebody in Saul's cabinet or entourage, just like, yo, there's this guy, man, who can play. He is handsome, and the Lord is with him. Now, it's funny, David is a shepherd. So, like, when David is out there just playing in the field, like, David is playing in the field with nobody around, as if he is playing before the king.
Right.
And there is somebody somewhere along the way that hears how David plays when nobody is watching.
Come on.
That says, we need to put him where everybody is watching. And I just think, man, that idea, man, that is concurrent, that is consistent in Scripture. He who is faithful in little is the one that gets to be ruler or overseer of much. And see, like, so there is this idea, and I hope there are young people watching this, like, because what you're saying is, I'm going to be excellent when I get the opportunity. Right. I'm going to be excellent when I'm in front of the boss. I'm going to be excellent when I get the promotion. That is not how it functions.
No.
It is, man, when it's just you or it's just nobody around or you don't have a whole lot of outward incentive. Because, like, man, this is the one thing about, man, I've seen about people who do things with greatness. Their incentive is internal.
That's right.
They have that something inside of them. Like, so that, like, man, so like when you look at the story of Joseph, man, he prospered in Potiphar's house, prospered in the prison. Because there's just something inside of him that says, man, independent or autonomous from outward affirmation, you're that a boy, good job. There's something inside of you. And that's the so if I could just say anything, even the Bible talks about an excellent spirit was upon him.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be in your kit if you're going to prosper or have prosperity in your work.
Oh, man.
Well, I want to throw this out at you for consideration.
Yeah.
So we talked about, we're going back to Joseph, which you preached about very well a few weeks ago. Joseph was in the pit.
Yeah.
He comes out of the pit, and you would think he would be emaciated, very dirty.
Yeah.
not really in the best, presenting in the best way.
Yeah.
But yet he ends up in the house of one of the most influential people in Egypt.
Yeah.
Isn't there something to be said for how you handle yourself even in the pit?
In the pit, wow.
Yeah,
so you got a convoy of slaves from all over, but there was something about his comportment, right? How he handled himself, how he stood.
Come on,
that kind of makes you stand out. It's funny, and I think there is a form of prosperity I think we don't even recognize too. One of the things that God does, and it's very subtle, but God, one of the forms of prosperity, he just has a way of making a person stand out from the crowd.
Totally.
Totally. Have you ever just seen somebody where they didn't say anything?
No.
They didn't do anything. But you can look and you just said,
something about that.
Something about that person. Yeah. There is something about that young man. I see it in young people. I see it in me and people of all ages, but before you see them perform, do anything. But man, it's just this, I don't even know how to quantify it, but just God just makes some people stand out. And it is a form of prosperity that opportunities come a certain way just because God distinguishes them from the crowd.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Man.
Well, there was a lot here to digest. We're still in this Prosperity Kit series, looking at the various ways that God can help us to prosper and help us to understand what prosperity really is. And as you noticed, we're not spending a whole lot of time talking about cars, homes, and bank accounts. We're talking about a lot of other things too, a lot of it internal, right? So how do you prosper in the pit when you don't have cars, when you don't have the big house, when you don't have the swag, the drip, as the young people say these days.
The drip.
Did I get it
David,
right?
you want it.
You want it, man. You're there. You're there.
I got it. There's something internal going on, something spiritual.
Yeah.
And we know that that's where prosperity truly
begins.
So we thank you for joining us for this episode of Breathe. Next episode, we're going to talk about contentment. Prosperity and contentment.
Oh, my.
They are compatible. They can work together. We're going to get into how that happens.
Amen.
Continue to message us. Continue to drop, comments on the Facebook in the YouTube page.
Oh, yeah.
Continue to encourage others to subscribe to the audio podcast and the YouTube streaming. We love the community that we have with you, and we want it to expand. We want other people to be blessed by this ministry, and we thank you for your part in it. And don't forget, as you're moving through life, as you're dealing with navigating how to cultivate and maintain prosperity, even in a challenging workplace where people are cutthroat,
mercy.
You can do it if you stop, pray, and breathe.
Amen.
Breathe is produced by David Person for Breath of Life. Executive producer is Debleaire Snell, and sound engineer is Kirk Nugent. Audio episodes of Breathe can be found on Apple, Spotify, or Google podcast platforms. For video episodes and extra content, check out the Breath of Life YouTube channel. Breath of Life is faith-based content, resources, and programs from a contemporary urban perspective for those looking for hope and guidance. We believe that every breath we take is a testimony that God is consistent, that He loves us, and has a plan for our lives.